What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Anna. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be talking about every UFC champion. Who should they fight? Not who are they scheduled to fight against, who should they fight? Like, who is the rightful challenger to the champion? Because obviously the UFC, they like to do their own thing. They kind of like to make, really interesting matchups. But at the end of the day, there's some people that actually deserve to be fighting for the championship. So I'm going to go through all of the champions from flyweight all the way to heavyweight. I'm going to tell you who every champion should fight. Who are they supposed to fight based on who has deserved it the most. So let's go ahead and get right into the flyweight division. Pantoja is the current champion. He should fight Brandon Moreno. Their fight was very close. I think, in my opinion, you could have went either way. Obviously, I think Pantoja did win, but it was a super extremely close fight. And it's not like versus, you compare it to Izzy, right? And I think they're going to make they were going to make this fight anyway regardless. I think they're going to do the trilogy anyway. So they were going to make this fight anyway. But the rightful person is Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno had a super razor thin close fight versus when you compare, Strickland and Izzy. Izzy wasn't even close to winning that fight against Sean Strickland. So he shouldn't even get we'll get into that in a second. But in my opinion, Moreno had a close fight, and I think that he is the rightful challenger to Pantoja. I know Pantoja has beat him times before, but in my opinion, you got to give another chance to Brandon Moreno. In my honest opinion, I think that he has deserved it the most out of anybody in the flyweight division. He was just the champion, and he had a super close fight with Pantoja. So give it to Brandon Moreno. At bantamweight, Sean O'Malley's probably going to be fighting Marlon Chito Vera. Marlon Chito Vera doesn't deserve shit. Let's just be honest with you. I'm gonna be completely honest in this video. It should be Merab. Nobody else. It realistically should be Merab. He should get the next fight, in my honest opinion. He has beaten, been unbeaten for quite a while now. He just beat Petr Yan, and he was beating everybody underneath Aljamain Sterling. You can definitely put Aljamain in this kind of conversation as well, but he did get knocked out. So we're not going to put Aljo in here. I think Merab, he's the number 2 guy in the division versus Marlon Chito Vera, who, by the way, lost to Corey Sandhagen, who is higher in the rankings, right? Is going to be getting the next title shot, and he's number 6, and he just beat, Pedro Munoz? Wow, that's impressive. Get the hell out of here. It's not Marlon Vera. It is Merab. Merab deserves it over definitely Marlon, and definitely Corey Sandhagen, too. The 3 guys that deserve it over him, I've stated this in other videos, it's Corey, Merab, and Aljo. Those are the 3 people that deserve it way much more than Marlon. But Marlon Vera, since he has a history with Sean O'Malley, he's probably going to get the title shot next. And Merab, I don't fucking know. He just doesn't, he's just the lackey of Aljo. And it's like, oh, Aljo should get the title shot, and then after I can get the title shot. No, bro, stop. Be the one to challenge Sean O'Malley, bro. You should be the one who should be fighting for the title next because you earned it. You made your way up the rankings and you're now number 2 in the division. You should be the guy fighting Sean O'Malley next, not Marlon. Let's just be honest. Featherweight, Alexander Volkanovski. Realistically, nobody deserves it versus Volk, but honestly, it's Max. Max is the only person to me that is feasible and has actually earned his way back up to a title shot. Because I believe he obviously recently beat, who the hell did he beat? He beat, Korean Zombie, but that's not really super impressive. He beat Arnold Allen, and he beat, before that was Yair Rodriguez. So he's pretty much beat everybody underneath Volkanovski. He should be the one to get the title shot, not Topuria. Topuria just beat Josh Emmett. Wow. Josh Emmett, of all people. That's super, impressive. Is fucking nuts. Topuria is just getting this title shot because he hasn't, lost to Max Holloway. That's number 1. Number 2, Volk needs a fresh opponent, and he's already beat Max 3 times. But if we're being honest, when it comes to the ranking sense, I believe Max is still number 1 in the division, rightfully so, because he's literally 1B in this scenario. He's the second best by a long shot. It's literally Volk, Max. Volk, and then Max, and then everybody else is down here. You know what I mean? And then you probably got your Yairs, and your everybody else. Whatever, fuck. Anyway, but it should be Max. Let's just be honest. Max has been beating everybody. everybody underneath Volk. So he should be the one to get the title shot. He, I believe, is now on a 3-fight win streak after losing to Volk. So he's pretty much built his way back up to become a title contender once again. But the problem is with Max is that he's lost to Volk 3 times. He's 3-0 or 0-3 versus Volk. So he's more likely not going to get that title shot next. It's going to be Topuria, even though Topuria just beat what? He beat that one dude. I forgot his name. Whatever his name is, and then he beat he beat Josh Emmett, which is not impressive either. I mean, Josh Emmett is Josh Emmett. You know what I mean? Like, who cares, right? But yeah, it should be Max. Let's just be honest. Lightweight, Islam versus Charles. That is the fight to make. Charles Oliveira is still the #1 guy. He just beat Beneil, who was possibly could have been the guy to face Islam next, but it's Charles. Nobody else has deserved it. Not Justin Gaethje. Nobody else. Charles is still the #1 guy in the division besides Islam, and he just proved it by finishing Beneil Dariush in an amazing fashion in the first round by TKO. So he obviously deserves it. You know, he bounced back after that loss against Islam, and then he had a great performance against Beneil, who everybody thought that a lot of people thought that Beneil was going to win because of what happened with Charles last time with Islam. But but Charles Oliveira showed that he is still one of the best lightweights in all the division, the second best lightweight for sure. So he's definitely should be getting the title shot, and they're making that fight. That fight has been announced, so we're good on that department. Welterweight, Leon Edwards is the champion. He's scheduled to possibly fight Colby Covington. It should not be Colby Covington. Colby Covington should not get this title shot. It should be Bilal Muhammad. Yes, Bilal Muhammad is the guy that should get the next title shot. But what is the problem with Bilal Muhammad? He is boring. He is not entertaining in the slightest. His fights are a snooze fest, except his fight with Sean Brady. That was pretty entertaining. Whatever. But Sean Brady low-key got exposed in that fight. But anyway, that's besides the point. But it should be Bilal. Bilal just beat Gilbert Burns, who was one of the top guys. Actually, somebody who was in the top of the division. Who, by the way, Colby Covington has not beat anybody in the top 5 since, like, the Donald Trump administration. So, let's just be honest. I mean, that's not really too great, isn't it? I mean, beating Jorge Masvidal, really? I talked about it in my privileges video, that he got the privilege just because he's getting the title shot next after beating Jorge Masvidal. Wow, that's impressive. And Tyron Woodley, his last 2 wins were Tyron Woodley and Jorge Masvidal, people who are way past their prime. Look, you're gonna get Leon Edwards is next for you. Guess what? You're gonna bypass everybody. You know, Bilal Muhammad's been fighting literally everybody under the sun. But now let's just give it to Colby Covington, right? But here's the deal, Bilal. I don't really care that Bilal's not getting the title shot because Bilal is boring as shit. Let's just be honest; he's not entertaining in the slightest. Yeah, his performance against Burns was not like super impressive, but I mean he did beat Gilbert Burns though, and he beat him pretty handily too. So yeah, I think it should be Bilal over Colby Covington, to be honest. So yeah. Middleweight, Sean Strickland is now the new champion. Who should he be fighting next? It should be Dricus, not Israel Adesanya, because they're probably going to be making that fight maybe next year at some point. It obviously should be Dricus du Plessis. He beat Robert Whittaker, who Robert Whittaker was beating everyone. Robert Whittaker beat everybody under the sun in the middleweight division. And then Dricus comes in, he beats Derek Brunson. It was an okay performance, but he did finish him. Then he styles on Robert Whittaker, wins the first round, and then finishes him in the second round. Super impressive performance from Dricus. He's the one that beat Robert Whittaker. He should be getting the title shot. He was going to get the title shot over Sean, but it wasn't enough time for Dricus to get ready. So now we have Sean Strickland, and Sean Strickland became the champion. But then Sean Strickland shocks the world and dominates Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya doesn't deserve a rematch because he got dominated. He got 49-46. Every single judge gave it 49-46 to Sean Strickland. He got dominated. He got beaten up, and you could have gave round 2 to Sean Strickland. It could have been a 50-45. I wouldn't even bat an eye if you gave 50-45 to Sean Strickland. That's how dominant Sean Strickland was in that fight. So it shouldn't be Izzy. It should be Driscus, who is the rightful contender, in my opinion, that should be getting the next fight against, for the middleweight championship. At light heavyweight, I believe right now it is vacant. But the next heavyweight fight realistically should be, the two guys who were the champions recently, Jamal Hill and Yuri Prochazka. That should be the next fight. But I believe they're going to do Yuri Prochazka, who is a rightful, contender. And they're going to do Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira, yes, you beat Jan Blachowicz, but you weren't the champion. These guys were champions. These guys became the champion. And it's not Ankalaev, by the way. Ankalaev should not be the guy fighting for the title, in my opinion. Not over Jamal Hill and Yuri Prochazka. These guys were actual champions. So in my opinion, you got to give it to these two guys. You got to make that fight. But I don't mind the Alex Pereira-Yuri Prochazka fight. That is super intriguing to me. And that's going to be a fun fight. But what makes the most sense, Jamal Hill and Yuri Prochazka. These are the two guys who were the last two light heavyweight champions. So make that fight next. Well, that should be the fight next for the light heavyweight championship. And the heavyweight division, Jon Jones, he will be fighting Stipe. But I don't think it should be Stipe. I think it should be Sergey Pavlovich. Pavlovich is the rightful contender. He has been more active than Stipe. Stipe hasn't fought since 2021, so it's been over 2 years, damn near 3 years, since we've seen Stipe in the octagon. I understand that Stipe was the former champion, like before, obviously, Francis, but it should be Pavlovich. Pavlovich has been, obviously dominant in the heavyweight division. He is the number 2 guy in the division. It should be him because I believe Cyril Gane is number 1. I don't know why he's still number 1. I think it should be Pavlovich that should be number 1. I think that you have to give it to Pavlovich just because he's been dominant throughout the years that Stipe was gone. He's been getting knockout victories after knockout victory after knockout victory. I know he just beat Curtis Blades, and that's not like a crazy big time win, whoa, but still, he's been active. And he is the number 2 guy in the world. So he should be fighting him. And Cyril Gane, obviously I know he's number 1, but he just got smoked by Jon Jones. So it's obviously not Cyril Gane. But they're going to do that fight because Jon Jones wants that fight and the UFC wants to do that fight. Because it is a bigger fight, I guess you can say. It's not more... To me, I find Pavlovich versus Jon Jones more exciting. Because Pavlovich is a scary man. That is a threatening human being to Jon Jones in the heavyweight title, in my honest opinion. That fight, to me, if that fight gets made, I'll be more excited for that fight than a Stipe versus Jon Jones. Obviously, I'm excited for Stipe versus Jon Jones because it's like 2 all-time greats going up against each other. But Stipe he's old, you know what I mean? And I just feel like it's not going to end well for Stipe, and it's going to suck. But, yeah. Those are all of the contenders that should be fighting for the title. If you guys like this type of concept video, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe. I really do want to, get these likes up and subscribers up. I've been trying to grind as much as I possibly can to get these videos out for you guys. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon in another video. God bless y'all. Peace.